This is ABC7 News at 11, your Suncoast News. We're here for you.
Hello and welcome. I'm Scott Dennis. Thanks so much for joining us. Haley has the night off. Our top story tonight, a living seawall is coming to the Sarasota Bayfront. City commissioners approving funding today for the seawall to be added in front of a traditional seawall that's being built right now near O'Leary's Tiki Bar and Grill at Bayfront Park. ABC7's Rick Adams joins us live from there tonight with more on the story. Rick?
Yeah, good evening, Scott. This has a lot of people very excited. A living seawall will soon be here. A living seawall got the green light from Sarasota City Commissioners Monday afternoon. It will go in front of the current seawall that's being built at O'Leary's Tiki Bar and Grill on the Sarasota Bayfront.
It's a way to improve traditional seawalls. It's modules that go in front of traditional seawalls that help habitat come in and live near the walls again, and it also helps deflect wave energy.
This 250-foot living seawall will be very similar to the one constructed in Palmetto and will be made up of reef balls. The city will be working closely with Marine Lab on this project. Experts say in addition to it attracting lots of marine life, it also has environmental benefits and will help protect the regular seawall from erosion. Christine Finn of Lakewood Ranch visits O'Leary's with her family many times a year. She is excited to hear about this project.
I think it's great. They're definitely respecting the environment and doing the right thing, and I like that.
Sarasota City Commissioners voted 4-1 in favor of the $46,000 needed to get the project off the ground. Hagan Brody was the commissioner who voted against the living seawall.
It's really an experimental thing for Moat Marine to do some research for, which I am all for. However, we do have some budget issues currently, and I think that we have a couple of more important items to address.
City officials tell us it should take about 4 months from beginning to end to complete the project. And this living seawall should be in the water here by late fall. Reporting live from Sarasota, I'm Rick Adams. Scott, back to you.
All right, Rick, thank you. Sarasota City Commissioners are still talking about the city's temporary ban on medical marijuana dispensaries. Commissioners voting to extend a temporary ban on dispensaries in the city for 60 days. But now the clock is ticking and commissioners need to make big decisions on zoning and locations. City originally planned to have the dispensaries in an office away from neighborhoods and schools, but Governor Rick Scott signed a bill earlier this month that says local governments have to allow the same zoning laws for dispensaries as any traditional pharmacy.
The public has to understand we only have two options. We either ban them completely or we allow them in the same places that we allow pharmacies, which is just about everywhere. The state preempted us, took our ability away to regulate that. So what we're doing now is crafting an ordinance that fits in with what the state has allowed us to do.
City leaders also worry about the traffic dispensaries would bring if it's allowed to open where pharmacies can open. Commissioners also voting unanimously to require leashes for dogs at all city parks. Previously, dogs were allowed to run free in all city parks with the exception of 4. Some homeowners in the Indian Beach Sapphire Shores neighborhood wanted their park exempt, but commissioners voted against that idea. Dogs are still allowed to run without leashes at designated dog parks. Well, what was a search for a missing 13-year-old girl in Hillsborough County has now turned into a homicide investigation. Janessa Shannon's body was found in Triple Creek Nature Preserve last Wednesday. Over the weekend, the sheriff's office said they were investigating the case as a homicide. Shannon disappeared 2 weeks ago. Her family reported that Janessa was seen at one point in Manatee County, where her mother lives. A mother followed her instincts after seeing a man slumped in the seat of his running car with a toddler in the front seat. Video shows 29-year-old Winton Fulks slumped over the driver's seat, asleep, while his 2-year-old son roamed the car trying to wake him up. When police arrived, the man's foot was on the brake, the car was in gear, driver's door unlocked with no child seat in the vehicle. He's since been charged with DUI and child abuse without great bodily harm.
I'm just glad I was there at the right time to see, because who knows how long they were really sitting there. And the baby started to move the tires at that point, and you could see him hitting his dad or whoever he was with the phone.
Folks' grandmother later arrived to take custody of the vehicle and the child. A Manatee County woman is charged with property damage after deputies say she overdosed and crashed her car into a wall. Crash happened along Cortez Road. The driver, 34-year-old Kelsey Flynn, was given 2 milligrams of Narcan at Manatee Memorial Hospital. The responding deputy says she was alert and did not suffer any major injuries, but was unaware of what happened after the crash. Law enforcement in 5 states are working together to reduce the number of traffic crashes on the roads. The Florida Highway Patrol taking part in a week-long initiative with Georgia, South Carolina, Alabama, and Tennessee to reduce these serious injury and fatal crashes. The top priority is making sure drivers obey speed limits, wear a seatbelt, and avoid texting and driving. The goal is to raise awareness of traffic safety issues and enforce violations to help drivers arrive alive. Well, NASA had planned to launch its newest communications satellite in 3 weeks, but that may not happen now. NASA says one of the antennas on the tracking and data relay satellite was damaged on Friday. It happened inside a payload processing building as the satellite was being packed up for launch. The mishap could delay the August 3rd liftoff, but right now a mission team is assessing the damage and the flight schedule. Let's get a check on our weather tonight. Bob Harrigan is off. Here's meteorologist Steve Newman. Hi, Steve.
Hi, Scott. We've had garden variety thunderstorms across Florida today. Just what you would expect in the middle, late July. And right now, there are even some storms out in the Gulf of Mexico. If you've been looking westward, you can see a lot of lightning out there. But they're decreasing in coverage in the last hour or so. But earlier today, we had a big parcel of storms that went right over the heart of Florida, producing heavy rain. Now here's our high-resolution rapid refresh futurecast that takes us through the overnight hours, showing that those storms offshore just kind of break up and or have light and variable winds on land, but we could have 1 or 2 showers that move ashore before the morning comes around. Chance of precipitation, maybe 40% as a result of those coming in, but look at this, 70% tomorrow morning. Maybe we could see some morning storms. We'll see. We'll talk more about that, as well as brand new Tropical Storm Dawn coming up in a few minutes. Scott?
All right, Steve, thank you. Some encouraging news for Florida. Governor Rick Scott says there have not been any Zika virus transmission zones in the state so far this year, but the governor warns preparation is key. He suggests Floridians continue wearing bug spray and draining containers that collect rainwater. 2016 was, of course, a bad year for Florida and the Zika virus. The state confirmed 285 Zika infections. This year, 81 travel-related Zika cases have been confirmed in the state, mostly in South Florida, in Broward and Miami-Dade counties. A case challenging the right to hold third graders back if they score badly on state standardized tests will not go to the Florida Supreme Court. The court announcing it would not consider an appeal brought on by parents who had their children opt out of the state-mandated reading test. The Court of Appeal threw out a ruling by a lower court judge who said the districts must consider options other than the standardized test scores when deciding whether to promote a student. Parents in 6 counties had their children fill in their name on the test and then not answer any questions. And the parents were then told their children would have to repeat 3rd grade. Just days after the Marion County School Superintendent decided the district would get rid of homework for elementary school students, one Manatee County School Board member wants to consider the idea locally. Manatee School Board Chair Charlie Kennedy contacted Superintendent Diana Green about the idea. Kennedy wants to discuss it at a future board meeting, but other board members think the change would be a bad idea for students. Kennedy believes Green will make a final decision if it will be considered at all. Local drinkware company Tervis representing Florida in the nation's capital today. The company is based out of Venice. It has about 700 workers, and it was chosen to attend a Made in America product showcase in Washington. President Trump hosting the event to send his message of putting America first by offering each state the opportunity to showcase a product made in America. The president believes it will help further stimulate the economy and create jobs. Still ahead tonight, meteorologist Steve Newman will be back. He'll have that latest track on Tropical Storm Dawn. Plus, flash flooding in Arizona kills 9 members of one family, and the search continues to find another. And questions into a deadly police shooting, many questions as to why shots were fired and why officers did not turn on their body cameras.
That is a pretty good breakfast. You're not even eating.
Not hungry.
No? Why not? What's up?
Kath and I knew that Jenny had been partying a bit. Found out she tried heroin.
Most people don't know what to say about drugs, but we do. Visit us at drugfree.org.
Today, everyone is looking for more fashionable choices in flooring than ever before. And G. Fried has responded with a huge selection of carpets, tile, wood, laminate, and vinyl. Installed by a highly skilled team, G. Fried has got everything you're looking for and more. The next time you think about quality flooring, think G. Fried Flooring America. G. Fried Flooring America. Our world is at your feet.
I heard about the Dotoli Cancer Center through friends of mine who had been treated here and were very pleased with the treatment.
If there is prostate cancer, we at the Dotoli Cancer Center will find it using 3D color flow Doppler ultrasound.
And that helped precisely identify where my cancer was. I can tell you that you will not find a finer, more professional team of clinicians anywhere in the world.
This is an important medical announcement. Xarelto and Pradaxa have been linked to uncontrollable bleeding and even death. If you've been prescribed one of these drugs and have experienced these dangerous side effects, you may be entitled to substantial compensation. Studies show that Pradaxa can cause more heart attacks than warfarin, and other countries have already issued safety warnings against this drug. Call now for a free assessment of your case and potential money damages. The call is confidential, there's no cost, and you may be eligible. Juries have awarded millions of dollars to Pradaxa victims, and thousands of Xarelto victims are filing their legal cases. Call the Drug Watch hotline if you or a loved one used Xarelto or Pradaxa and experienced uncontrollable bleeding, brain hemorrhage, or even death. You must call now.
Call 800-793-6055. 800-793-6055.
Check out My Suncoast Dining on mysuncoast.com, your guide to the foodie lifestyle. ABC7's own Chef Judy serves up her favorite recipes, cooking tips and trends, dining blogs, step-by-step videos, and Suncoast Restaurant Guide. You'll find it all at mysuncoast.com/dining.
Steve is back. Of course, we got a tropical storm to talk about.
Yep.
But first, you have some really cool video of something I am one day want to see in person. Northern Lights. The
Northern Lights, and boy were they bright last night. This is from North Dakota. You can see these swirling colors, part of a geomagnetic storm. A big storm on the surface of the sun sent charged particles rushing into Earth's atmosphere. It's really hard to see the Northern Lights in summer because our days are so long, and it really doesn't get all that dark up north, but it was certainly dark enough to see those beautiful colors in the sky last night. Not again tonight, I don't think, but here on the Suncoast, we're much too far south to see such a thing, but we do have tropical weather to talk about. 77 is the current temperature at the airport, dew point 73, and our high today and low last night were pretty close, if not right on the money, for what we would expect this time of year on average. The record last year, 96 in 2016, and the record low of 65 back in the building boom here in Sarasota in 1926. This is bigger right now, but that was the last big building boom. High temperatures across the state this afternoon, pretty close to 90 in Tampa, 88 Fort Myers. It got rain cool during the afternoon as those storms rushed from here across the state, but across the viewing area pretty much in the low to mid 90s just about everywhere. We also had some thunderstorms move offshore. That's what we had earlier. Boy, it just doused the Orlando area. And offshore, we've had some thunderstorms rumbling through the evening hours, but they are decreasing in coverage and intensity. But still, we might see one or two try and move ashore in the early morning hours. We'll take a closer look at that in the models in a minute. But now our tropical weather outlook. Earlier today, we had a new disturbance, 20% chance of forming out here in the mid-Atlantic. This didn't look like it was going to form at all until 5 o'clock. Boom, the National Hurricane Center declared it Tropical Storm Dawn because Hurricane Hunter aircraft flew back and forth, and through two passes, they found winds of 40 miles an hour. So, and it had a central circulation. They declared it Tropical Storm Dawn. I don't think it's going to be a big deal while the Gulf of Mexico and Caribbean remain quiet. You can see hardly anything going on there. Now, right now, Dawn started off with 40-mile-an-hour winds. It's up to 45. But if we look at the forecast as it approaches the Windward Islands, 60-mile-an-hour winds as it passes over Grenada and St. Vincent and the Grenadines, which currently have tropical storm warnings in effect. Just to the north, Barbados and St. Vincent has tropical storm watches in effect. And then it'll skirt Curacao on Wednesday, and wind shear will probably tear this apart long before it reaches the far western Caribbean. Well, there's our forecast model for the overnight hours. Those storms offshore showing up and maybe some popping on. But look how many storms we develop tomorrow afternoon and evening. Another burst of thunderstorms, which will kind of get here in July. And then again on Wednesday afternoon, another area develops. So we're right on target for getting more storms right on for the rest of this week. Now let's look at the high resolution futurecast again. Those storms offshore slowly dissipating and breaking apart. Our winds light and variable. Maybe 1 or 2 storms might come ashore overnight tomorrow morning. If you're going out on the water tomorrow, a great day, but watch out for those storms should they pop up. And these winds are just out of the way. South to westerly winds 10 knots, but a lot stronger near those storms. Sea is 2 feet or less. Bay and inland waters will have a light chop. The air temperature at the beach, 89 degrees. The water temperature, 88. And the UV index, 11. Here's my forecast for tonight. It'll be partly cloudy with more storms possible, becoming less likely as the night goes on. 76, the overnight temperature, low temperature, average of 75. And for tomorrow, it's going to feel hot again with the heat index near 99 degrees, but the air temperature on the thermometer will read 89. Here's a 7-day outlook, and no surprises right on for the next 7 days, anywhere from a 40–50% chance. It's hard to nail the exact chances day by day, but you get a picture that we're in a stagnant weather pattern, and it doesn't look like Tropical Storm Dawn will affect our weather in any way, and that's a good thing. That's our weather. Scott?
All right, Steve, thank you. A search and rescue operation will resume tomorrow in Arizona after 9 members of one family died and others went missing in a flash flood this weekend. Witnesses say there was no warning before the floodwaters came. They were so strong, some people were washed several miles downstream. Look at that. A 40-foot wall of mud-filled water was just too much for one family. At least 9 of those relatives are dead, ranging from 2 years old to 57 years old. One man is still missing, and additional crews in Arizona will join the search tomorrow.
My brother, he has to be found. They can't stop looking until he's found.
Officials say the storm that caused the flash flood unleashed up to 1.5 inches of rain per hour in some areas. Now to the outrage and growing questions over the deadly police shooting of a bride-to-be in Minneapolis. The woman's family saying she was killed after calling 911 to report a disturbance outside. Officers' body cameras were not turned on during the incident. ABC's Maggie Rulli has the story.
Don Damon's demanding to know why his fiancée was shot and killed by police after she was the one who called them for help.
The death of Justine is a loss to everyone who knew her. She touched so many people with her loving and generous heart.
His fiancée, Justine Damon, was a yoga and meditation teacher who moved here from Australia.
I'm originally from Sydney, Australia.
The two plan to marry next month, but late Saturday night, her fiancé says Justine called police to report a possible assault in the alley just behind her home. Authorities say a squad car with 2 officers arrived around 11:30 p.m. The Minneapolis Star-Tribune reports Damon came out in her pajamas and approached the driver's side. According to the Tribune, the officer in the passenger seat, Mohammed Noor, then opened fire through the driver's side door.
Shots fired. Can we get EMS code 3 Washburn and 51st Street? We got one down.
The paper reports that no weapon was found at the scene.
My mom is dead because the police officer shot her for reasons I don't know.
The police department says that at the time of the incident, the officer's body cameras were not turned on, and the squad car camera did not capture the incident. Both officers are now on paid administrative leave, and the police chief says that he's calling for a transparent and independent investigation, saying, quote, "I understand why so many people have so many questions at this point." Maggie Rulli, ABC News, New York.
Joe Biden is sounding off on the Republican health care bill. The former vice president says the bill is enough to make your blood boil. in an op-ed published today in the Washington Post. Biden calls the bill fundamentally flawed and wrote it would deny basic health care to Americans who can't afford it. He also cited how cuts to Medicaid would hurt people with disabilities, the elderly, and rural hospitals. Majority Leader Mitch McConnell delayed advancing the measure toward a vote this week while Senator John McCain recovers from surgery. Also, 2 other Republican senators came out tonight against the bill. Sports is next, but first, here's Jimmy Kimmel.
We made a new show tonight, and here's proof.
My gosh, B, let me get your towel.
It's like a horror movie off, will you?
Get out of the house! Let's get out of the house!
There are many choices when it comes to AC companies. Our advice? Choose a company that performs employee background checks and is licensed with top manufacturers like Daikin. Daikin offers a 12-year parts and labor limited warranty. For better comfort and value, call Elite Heating and Air.
Are you currently on Medicare? In other words, do you carry the red, white, and blue Medicare card? If so, are you suffering from chronic back pain? If you answered yes, you may be eligible for a pain-relieving back brace covered by Medicare at little to no cost, shipped directly to your home for free. These medical-grade back braces are ideal for lower back pain, arthritis, spinal disorders, and other chronic back problems. Our accredited staff will handle all of the Medicare paperwork for free, and best of all, your brace is shipped directly to your home for free. Don't let chronic lower back pain slow you down. Get moving and stay active with a medical-grade back brace covered by Medicare at little to no cost. We also accept Blue Cross Blue Shield, United Healthcare, Aetna, Humana, and other insurance. Will you qualify for a medical-grade back brace covered by Medicare? Find out for free.
Call Back Brace America at 1-800-715-0835. That's 1-800-715-0835, 1-800-715-0835.
Need more space in your place? The More Space Place can help with Murphy beds that disappear to reveal a home office, living room, or den. Custom closets with designated areas for your shoes, bags, wardrobe, and accessories. Custom-built entertainment centers, garage storage systems, and more. The More Space Place has 3 showrooms next to Sonny's on US 41 South in Sarasota, on Lakewood Ranch Boulevard just south of State Route 64 in Bradenton, and on Tamiami Trail next to Panera Bread in Port Charlotte. Put more space in your place at the More Space Place.
When my youngest, Addie, was 2.5, she was diagnosed with leukemia. When we first heard that diagnosis, you feel extremely alone. Walking in that Light the Night light with 6,000 people carrying lights, white for survivors, red for supporters, gold in memory of those who have passed. It's the Leukemia and Lymphoma Society's hope that every year there are fewer gold lanterns. Your lantern will make a difference. Start a team, join a team.
Help us light the night.
Once you get atrial fibrillation, you need to have a very close relationship with your primary doctor. Prevention is the whole ball game here, because once you have a stroke, you can't undo it. A year without stroke, it's a year that you can enjoy doing the things that you've worked all your life to finally get to do. You took care of yourself. You did what is necessary for you to be around one more year. And then next year, we'll celebrate one more year without a stroke.
Check out My Suncoast Dining on mysuncoast.com for Chef Judy's favorite recipes, cooking tips and trends, dining blogs, step-by-step videos, and Suncoast Restaurant Guide. You'll find it all at mysuncoast.com/dining.
There are many choices when it comes to AC companies. Our advice? Choose a company that performs employee background checks and is licensed with top manufacturers like Daikin. Daikin offers a 12-year parts and labor limited warranty. For better comfort and value, call Elite Heating and Air.
Now, sports.
Tampa Bay Rays continuing a West Coast road trip out tonight in Oakland. The Rays beginning tonight just 3 games out of first place, all alone in second place, although Boston lost tonight to Toronto, so the Rays now just 2.5 games out. Jake Odorizzi pitching for Tampa Bay tonight. Odorizzi and Steven Souza Jr. hitting his 19th home run for the Rays. That put the Rays on the board first. They are now up 2-1. It's bottom of the 4th. The A's just scored a run, so 2-1 in the 4th. Rays looking to win tonight out in Oakland. Golf's 3rd major of the year tees off this week in England. Royal Birkdale Golf Club to host the Open Championship, or the British Open as Americans call it. No clear favorite stands out heading into the weekend, but Masters champion Sergio Garcia would love to win a 2nd major at the Open.
At the moment, the green jacket means more because I have it, but everybody knows how much I love the Open Championship, and I would love to at least have one of them before I kind of hang the boots. So definitely it's something that I would like to achieve, and you know, we're gonna give it a shot this week.
Curious timing by the Carolina Panthers, the team firing its general manager less than 2 weeks before the opening of training camp. Dave Gettleman had been Carolina's general manager since 2013. The Panthers were only 6-10 last season, a year after reaching Super Bowl 50, where they lost to Denver. Carolina had reached the postseason in Gettleman's first 3 years at the helm. Gettleman is the second NFL GM to be fired in less than a month. Kansas City firing John Dorsey back in late June. That's a look at sports. Tonight's winning lotto numbers are next.
Hi, I'm Chef Judy. Every Wednesday morning, I'll be with the chefs at the Publix Aprons Cooking School, serving up the most wonderful dishes. Watch Aprons in the Kitchen every Wednesday on ABC7's Good Morning Suncoast.
Being the caregiver for someone you love is truly a blessing. But sometimes you can lose a part of yourself. To be your best, for them and for you, it's important to have time to be able to recharge your batteries. When you call Tidewell Hospice, they can give you a chance to do just that, and with the peace of mind of knowing your loved one is in the very best hands. Tidewell Hospice. It's more than you think.
I knew I could get myself out of this. I just needed some hope and some help.
I took the first step to recovery when I made the call.
Since 2014, Addiction Hope and Helpline has answered calls for recovery and treatment 24/7, 365 days a year. If you're depressed, drinking, using drugs, or taking pills, call now and talk to someone who cares.
I had problems just getting to sleep, drinking and using pills every night.
I feel like I'm losing control. I'm afraid I'll lose my job or even my family.
Most insurance covers substance abuse. You can get back on track. Call now for hope and help with proven gentle recovery programs.
I never thought that I could be somebody who didn't drink and use drugs.
I have something to hold on to for strength. I'm in recovery, getting the help I need.
Call 800-622-1941. 800-622-1941.
Since 1972, Sleep King has provided quality mattresses and accessories at the best discounted prices available. Top brands like Simmons, Sealy, Serta, Beautyrest, iComfort, and more. With available free delivery, free financing, and free setup and removal. For a comfortable night's sleep with same-day delivery, even if we have to carry it on our backs. Trust Sleep King of Sarasota. Buy it today, sleep on it tonight.
Is your old garage door stuck or broken? Would a new one give you a lift? Let Precision Door Overhead Garage Door Service of Sarasota come to the rescue with prompt and affordable repair service. Replacement doors come with an array of styles and colors, and they are rated to meet and exceed Florida standards. From estimates to installation, your satisfaction is our priority. If you're not 100% satisfied with any product, service, or installation, we will make it right, because Precision Door Service is a name you can trust. Check out My Suncoast Dining on mysuncoast.com, your guide to the foodie lifestyle. ABC7's own Chef Judy serves up her favorite recipes, cooking tips and trends, dining blogs, step-by-step videos, and Suncoast Restaurant Guide. You'll find it all at mysuncoast.com/dining. The Florida Lottery winning numbers are sponsored by Frontier Fios.
Video streaming service Netflix getting a lot more videos and many more customers too. It added 5.2 million new subscribers in the most recent quarter. Fortune reports the bump outpaced analyst estimates of 3.2 million more subscribers, and it was more than triple the number of new customers reported in the same quarter last year. It's also helping the stock market. Netflix reported the news after the market closed today, sending the company's shares up by more than 10% in after-hours trading. And you can show more emotion through text messages with more than a dozen new emoji characters. Later this year, you can start using a genie, elf, zombie maybe to describe your mood. The new editions also feature more inclusive roles for women, such as one wearing a headscarf and another breastfeeding. The emojis are Apple's interpretation of 69 new symbols that were approved this year by Unicode Consortium. The nonprofit group sets the global standard for emoji and text characters. There's one for anything. You can tell the whole story.
It's true. You don't need to type anything.
No.
Let's take another quick look at Tropical Storm Dawn. It is approaching the Windward Islands. Could have 60-mile-an-hour winds as it passes by there, but it will not affect us or our weather.
Like to hear that.
Yeah.
All right, Steve, thank you. Thank you so much for watching tonight. Have a great evening. See you tomorrow.